Hello, everyone. This is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's the third Friday of the month, so that means it's time for a collaborative video hop featuring Make It From Your Heart Volume 6, and several members of Erin Jacobson's team are featuring their take on sketch number 19. So the pictures that I'm going to scrapbook are from a day trip that my husband and I went down to a town called Victor with a couple of friends, and we hiked to see Rita the Rock Planter Troll. If you're familiar with Thomas Dambo trolls, he's got several all over the world. They're from reclaimed wood and other products, and he builds these giant trolls, and it's fun to go search them out. So there's a couple in Colorado, there's one in Breckenridge, and then this one in Victor. So then we went on to Cripple Creek, and we had lunch, and then Cripple Creek is known for its it's kept donkey herd, and they kind of roam the streets. So we went in search of the donkeys. So got some good pictures from that day. It was a good day, and yeah, I'm going to scrapbook them. So these papers are from the online exclusives, and they are called Woven Textures, and I think they're my new favorite collection. So I'm going to use them, and I pulled a bunch of different colors. I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to go with this, but I do want my base to be French vanilla. This is a close to my heart color because I don't have a 12 by 12 in basic beige, which is probably a close match to this. So I just pulled from my stash, and then I pulled some bluebird. I was thinking that it was going to go with the blue sky in the pictures. Check that out. Colorado blue sky, nothing like it. So that's where I'm going to let it sit there, but you'll see I decide to change my mind later on. So that's espresso. That's another color I might pull in. So let's just get started and then see where we go, okay? So the first thing I need to do is cut down the vanilla cardstock to 11.5 inches square. So I'm just following all of the dimensions on this sketch. The only change that I have made is to the 2 3x4 pictures that are on the left page. I decided to print my picture of the whole group with the troll at 4x6. So that's the only change I made to the sketch. Otherwise, I'm pretty much sticking to it. So I'm just going to go along all these. I counted the number of different patterns, and I want to use this darker mocha. No, it's espresso. This one, I wanted to use this one twice in my count. So I think it's going to work. So I'm just going to start cutting, and I'll speed this up in a minute. I'm looking at the patterns and where I want the lighter ones to sit and where the darker ones can be. And we'll just start cutting these strips. So they're all 1.5 inches wide, and then they vary in length. So just going along the pattern and trimming these up. And like I said, I'm going to speed this up, but I'm going to keep all the trimming in so you can see how it progresses. So just laying these out, and then we'll pick another pattern. Most of these patterns have like a brown base to them, so I'm going to stick with the warmer colors. There are a couple of patterns that have a gray base, and I'm going to leave those out. So you could mix them all together, but I'm going to stick with the ones that are warmer toned, and just looking at how different they are. I want them to vary sitting next to each other, and yeah, so I'm just gonna follow the pattern, trim all these guys up, and get them laid out. So there's 7 strips the whole way across. And like I said, they vary in length. There's a lot of measuring with this particular pattern. I mean, you don't have to go exactly, you don't have to follow the rules. You can do what you want, but I pretty much followed the pattern. So, and then here's where I decided to use that same pattern twice. So it's going to go on the outside of each page and the inside. So, okay, this is where I'm looking at it and thinking I want to go monochromatic. So, or mostly monochromatic. So I'm going to bring in this espresso cardstock. See what that looks like. Yeah, I like that much better. I like that. So I'm gonna go with that and just kind of lay these strips out and see what it all looks like. So I'm gonna do some treatment to my base page of vanilla. So we'll scooch everything over and I'm gonna bring in the stamp set. This goes with Woven Textures and it's called Textured Notes, and it's got some basket weave images. That round has, it looks like the bottom of a, or the top of a lidded basket, and it's in a circle, so I'm gonna use that. And then there's one that's kind of like the edge of a basket, so I'm going to use those two stamps and do kind of random stamping, random slash targeted. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm looking at where you'd be able to see these stamped images on the layout once I have all my strips in place. So I'm going to go around the edges and I'm going to stamp in pecan pie and early espresso. So let's just start stamping and see what it looks like. So we'll put one up in the upper left corner. So I looked at the pattern and the strip starts about 1.25 inches down. So a lot of that round will be seen. And then I'm going to put one down in the lower right and also use that strip. So we'll get that loaded onto a block. And I'm just going to vary between the two colors and the two stamps and just kind of just stamp kind of all around the edges, not all around, but just kind of keep it varied and random. We'll do one over on the inner side because this is the left page, so that will be the inside. And then we'll do that round again. Okay. And then we'll bring the right page in and we'll do some stamping. So I'm going to look at that pattern again just to see where the voids are, just to kind of get an idea in my mind where I want to stamp. And these colors are close enough to each other. I'm not that worried about contaminating the dark and the light. That's why you don't see me cleaning off my stamps. I got lazy there, so but it's okay. They're fine. So we'll go ahead and add those other basket images. And just put a few all around the edges. Okay. And then I'm going to do some splatters. So let's get cleaned up here real quick. This is a shimmer brush. So this one is in toffee. So hit up your stash. If you've got a Wink of Stella, you could use that. These are just some shimmer brushes that I had in my stash. And don't worry about that big drop that just fell. I'm going to be covering that up with the strips of paper, so I'm not too concerned about that. I wanted more shimmer in it, so a trick to doing that is to make a puddle on a block, and then you'll get more of the shimmer. It tends to you shake up your brush before you start using it, but sometimes the first amount that comes out of the brush doesn't have a lot of shimmer in it. So this is the way to get more shimmer on your project. So I'm just tapping the brush all around and getting some splatters around the edges of that base page. Okay. All right, so off camera, I have glued everything down, all the strips down, and now we can start setting up our pictures. So I decided to use Mossy Meadow as a mat for all of my pictures to bring out the green in the pictures, and I think it makes the blue pop as well in the sky. So I'm just going to set up all my pictures with the mats, and then off camera, I have cut my title. This is the mini alphabet dies, and this set, I have used it a ton, and it's still going to be available next year. So I highly recommend it. I have cut my title, and I just cut out Rita the rock planter. So that's going to go below my large 4x6 picture. And then I've done some strip journaling to talk about what we did that day. And then that picture that has the sign on that page, it explains who Rita is and why the artist decided to create her. So I also have this stamp set. It's textured timber, and I'm going to stamp out a couple of these log rounds to use as sort of a base for my embellishment cluster. I have a lot going on with this layout and with the strips and all of various patterns. I don't want a ton of embellishments, but I do want a little something. So I'm going to stamp this out a couple times, and then off camera, I will fussy cut them. So the story about Rita is that she took a long nap, and when she woke up, she realized that the humans had moved all the rocks in search of shiny ones, and so she was replanting or planting the rocks back where they needed to be. So that's why she's a rock planter. So that's what she's doing there. So I've got these log rounds, and we'll tuck one in up there. And then I also printed out the logo for Thomas Dambo. If you go to his website, you can see a lot of information, and there's troll maps where you can find these. They're all over the country, all over the world. You can find them. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Okay, so this is a punch called Bow, and it punches out these two images. So if you want a quick foliage image die cut, this is a good punch to have. And I'd recommend grabbing one while you can, because I believe they're in the last chance section. So there's also this smaller image, so I'm going to punch that out in pecan pie. And then sorry, this is off camera. I decided to round the corners of those two logo images just because they're white based, and I wanted not as much white on this layout because my base is vanilla. So yeah, I'm just rounding the corners, and it reflects the round of the log round, and the edges of this donkey sign that I decided to fussy cut from the photo. So if you've ever been to Cripple Creek, in the warmer months, the donkey herds just roam the town, and you can buy treats, and your donation supports taking care of the herd. And this particular day, we could not find the herd. They were hiding from us, but this one donkey was convalescing. She had bandages on her hoof. So she was in this little pen, and we found her, and she was so happy to see us, and she gobbled up the treats that we got for her. So we'll go ahead and tuck in a few more of the foliage die cuts all around there, and one more cluster by my title. So we've got our visual triangle there. And then to finish it off, these are swirl dots, and they're currently on sale in the last chance section. And I'm just going to scatter a few of these around. They're matte based, but they're kind of cool looking. So yeah, I'm just going to scatter a few around, and then we'll call it done. So make sure I will put a playlist for all of the videos and participants for this month for the who are doing sketch number 19, and I'll put that in the description below, and make sure you check out all of their videos and see their take on this sketch. It was lots of fun, and I love this woven textures paper. I really like the way this layout turned out. So I will put close-up shots of this layout over on my Facebook page and on my Instagram. So I'll put a link in the description below as well. So hop on over there and check that out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would sure help me out. And thanks for watching.